All right, we're diving deeper and deeper into the darker corner of Sith history, especially with Tales of the Underworld and Dathomir and all this stuff. I think they're really going to start playing heavy into Dathomir and magic. And what better than to explore the Plagueis novel, where the most famous Zabrak Dathomirian ever is actually found for the first time. That's Darth Maul. So, as we know, Dathomir isn't typically your most fun place to visit. So, why was Palpatine there in the first place, and how did he find Maul? Well, the Darth Plagueis novel explains clearly that Palpatine was driven by his deep obsession and curiosity for Sith worlds and darkside locations, where we often find him exploring places powerful in the Force. And I mean, if this isn't a great Disney Plus show idea, I don't know what is. Palpatine ventures the galaxy. Adventures with Palps. Adventures with Sheev. Some combination of the strictures is this quote, or perhaps recognition on Plagueis' part for his apprentice's unabated craving to visit Sith worlds, had landed Palpatine on scenic Dathomir. Sparsely populated and largely unexplored, Dathomir wasn't Korriban or Ziost, but it was powerful in the Force, mainly due to the presence of groups of female adepts who practiced darkside magics. So essentially, Palpatine's fascination with Sith history and his master, Plagueis' willingness to let him explore, brought him there, completely unaware that he'd soon encounter a being who'd become crucial to his Sith plans. Now, here's how Palpatine actually found Maul, and it's pretty cool how casual it was. He was wandering the dusty quarters of Blue Desert City on Dathomir, where Palp sensed a faint pulse of Force energy. So he followed this instinct, leading him to a market where he noticed a Night Sister, hooded, mysterious, clearly hiding something, and he felt this subtle, dark energy around her. So Palpatine deliberately made himself discernible in the Force. Immediately, she approached him, offering him something unusual. "Just this." She opened the soft shoulder bag to reveal a humanoid infant less than a year old. The infant's hairless head was stippled with an array of short but still pliant horns, and its entire body had been garishly and ceremonially tattooed in red and black pigments. The Night Sister wasn't merely desperate. She recognized Palpatine as powerful and capable of protecting the child from the Night Sister mother, Talzin, who'd take Maul as a slave warrior. She pleaded with Palpatine. "Take him, save him," she urged desperately, aware of Talzin's ruthless nature and power. Palpatine studied the newborn closely. The Force was clearly strong with him, making Palpatine decide instantly the child couldn't fall into the hands of the Jedi. Which, if you haven't, check out my fanfiction I did about 8 years ago, What If Maul Was a Jedi? Palpatine accepted the infant, then wiped the encounter from the mother's memory, ensuring secrecy from the start. He names the infant Darth Maul, a name fitting for the dark power that he sensed. Palpatine didn't waste any time. He immediately took Maul to Mustafar. Yes, the Mustafar, already tied deeply into Sith operations. He left Maul under the care of custodial droids at a facility owned by Darth Plagueis himself. Upon learning about Maul, Plagueis wasn't exactly thrilled, but accepted the infant's potential as a disposable asset. "Leave the infant on Mustafar in the care of the droids," Plagueis instructed coldly, "but begin to train him, inure him to pain, Lord Sidious, so that he will be able to serve us fully. Should the Force talents fail to mature, eliminate him." This wasn't typical Jedi training. This was dark, brutal Sith conditioning from infancy, stripping away any humanity or empathy to ensure absolute obedience and lethal precision. Maul wasn't being raised as an apprentice in the traditional sense. He was crafted deliberately as a living weapon. As Maul grew older, Sidious followed Plagueis' instruction closely, sending him to the harsh gladiatorial pits on Orsis to own his combat skills. Palpatine himself observed these brutal fights. Sidious recalled the voyages he had taken 10 years earlier to watch Maul fight in gladiatorial matches on Orsis. Driven to win against all odds, unaffected by pain, daring, and terrifying, Maul's training on Orsis wasn't just violent, it was relentless and brutal. He fought to the death as a child, covered in scars beneath his tattoos, each mark a testament to his ruthless upbringing. After Orsis, Palpatine relocated Maul secretly to Coruscant's industrial area, the Works, keeping him isolated and training relentlessly. Sidious shaped Maul not as a political leader or strategist, but purely an assassin, explaining to Plagueis that Maul was a tool, nothing more. Not an apprentice, not someone who could ever aspire to become a true Sith Lord, but someone skilled in stealth and combat, who could be eliminated when no longer needed. Palpatine deliberately withheld strategic Sith knowledge from Maul, keeping him in the dark about larger plans, ensuring absolute dependency. Maul became an instrument, deadly, obedient, and devoid of independent ambition. His missions, like dismantling Black Sun, weren't just tests, they were demonstrations of his lethal training. Palpatine pushed him against powerful adversaries like Night Sisters, testing not just skill, but emotional and psychological endurance. "You will be facing many skilled opponents," Sidious warned. "Garen himself, who has some strength in the Force, and Garen's chief protector, Miguela, who is a Night Sister and will immediately identify you as a Night Brother." Maul's utter ruthlessness, cultivated through decades of psychological conditioning and physical torment, made him the perfect Sith assassin. He wasn't trained to succeed Sidious, only to execute his master's orders and eliminate threats like an attack dog. This training method that Sidious applied to Maul directly influenced how he manipulated Anakin Skywalker years later. Think about it, Maul's upbringing parallels Vader's own conditioning, isolation, manipulation, and fostering absolute obedience through psychological torment, that you essentially need Palpatine to survive, or else you're done for. You won't get what you need. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Was Maul truly one of the greatest Sith creations? Do you count him as a Sith Lord? Or, like Palpatine, do you see him for what he was? Just a Sith assassin, just an attack dog. Do you think that Palpatine's brutal training methods ultimately limit Maul's potential? Could Maul have ever surpassed Sidious had he been trained as a true apprentice, really actualizing his full potential? Personally, I don't think so, but I think Maul would have become way more powerful, just as he did later in the Clone Wars when he started to really grow on his own. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. I love reading them. And hit like if you enjoyed this deep dive, getting back to the roots of the channel in the old lore videos. Subscribe if you're new here and haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode here on Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember, the Force will be with you, always.